So from a 90-something rating in the first movie all the way down to half. The third movie is farther still. But let's talk sequel first. Actually, what the NES LJN game is based on, the end of movie 1 and all of 2. Actually played that quite a bit and didn't see the movie until way later. The first and third movie would always be on HBO back in the day for all the time. Never part 2 for some reason. Managed to catch it for the first time with commercials on a more basic cable channel. Anyway, here's my review of Karate Kid Part 2. We actually do this Rocky style, where clips of the first movie predict what actually is going to take place. Chris, none too pleased about losing, even shoving around people at the tournament. Miyagi and Daniel overhear Chris and Johnny get into an argument about Johnny's second place trophy. Manages to bust it, and almost Johnny as well. He actually chokes him out. Miyagi forced to make the save here, dodging 2 punches, so Chris comes in contact with car windows, so his knuckles are all busted up now. It's a scary scene, and they actually showed this in the third movie, so I kind of sort of know what happens, because they do flashback for that. Because that has a lot to do with what happens after. Yeah, we'll deal with more Chris in the third movie, but we get the comedian there. Instead of ending Chris, he goes for humiliation. Daniel's all, you could have killed him. Why didn't you? He's like, too old to survive 20 years to life. Sentence for murder. Yeah, whole Valley would have probably cheered you on for that for like a few seconds, but then like, oh right, I just murdered a man. For a person with no forgiveness in heart, living worse punishment than death. 6 months pass, Miyagi gets his fly finally. Daniel not so fortunate. His car's totaled thanks to Allie, who Dan says she's fallen for some UCLA football player. So yeah, she's not in the movie. And his mom got picked up for a company at Fresno. She might be in the movie for a little bit. I don't think she's in 3 at all, maybe? Or there's one movie where she's in a throwaway scene. But yeah, she got picked up by a company in Fresno, so Miyagi's got the cure for Daniel's ills, hammering nails. Hammering nails almost in one solid whack. I guess that's one way to get that done quickly. Turns out it was all to build a guest room for a, quote, refugee from Fresno. So yeah. Mom not returning for the other movie, so now Daniel lives with Miyagi. Mailman arrives with a letter from Okinawa. Miyagi's father is very sick. So, time for some plot exposition. He's got an old girlfriend, Yukie. That's who sent the letter. Because his best friend, Sato, met the arranged marriage for him being the richest family, her being the poorest. Miyagi then and there challenged with a big speech wanting to marry Yukie anyway. This disgraced Sato, so he challenges him to regain his honor in a fight. Because that's how Japanese and American media do. Miyagi didn't want to fight his best friend, so he takes off for America. Even cautioning Daniel, in all those 45 years, honor's got no time limit. Miyagi looking reluctant to go. Daniel with a ticket for himself, too, at the airport, cleared it with his mom. He wants to help in the way Miyagi helped him, further elaborating that Sato had the same teacher Miyagi did. He asked his father to teach both. Daniel asks, if you and Sato fought, would your dad ref? Miyagi says, no ref. How do you know if you win? The one who dies doesn't. Sato must have watched a lot of Hot Shots Part 2. First one to die loses! Miyagi and Daniel arrive at Okinawa Airport. They say in English for some reason and add for Sato Karate, breaking a log. Dan asks, could you break a log like that? Miyagi says, never been attacked by a tree. Enter the new antagonist of the movie, greeting Daniel and Miyagi, the CHO-CHO-CHOZEN One. Wow! Chosen Toguchi. Who at least quickly explains, hey, everyone in Okinawa speaks very good English. Just an important skill to have, I guess. Fancy car, and when introduced to Daniel, gives him the mother of all handshakes. Yeah, this movie wants you to know who the new Johnny Lawrence of this movie is going to be. The fancy car is not going to this Tomi village they mentioned. They instead get taken to a warehouse where Sato is waiting. all too ready to fight, but Miyagi just wants to settle affairs with his father. Sato says, "Go see your father, then you see me. By the way, this car was one trip. You're walking." Daniel asks, all this time, all this over Yuki, how come you didn't marry her and move to Alaska or something? Miyagi's all, "No one's perfect." Yeah, it didn't work too well for Hamato Yoshi. The Ninja Turtles cartoon was a year later, but the comics were around since '84 according to Google, so maybe the writers knew something we as kids didn't. I say we as kids, but I was barely 5 when this movie came out. Tomei Village is now half an U.S. airbase? A little further in, but it still exists. They meet Kumiko saying, "Aunt Yuki was expecting you." Miyagi meets with Dad, bedridden. Yuki in tears. Reveals she's always knew where Miyagi was, but never wrote out of respect for his silence rather than fear. She even refused to marry Sato all this time out of love for Miyagi, keeps turning him down time and time. Daniel in the morning introduces himself to Yukie proper, shows him to the Miyagi's family dojo, who Miyagi explains first sensei was a fisherman who drunkenly fell off the coast of Okinawa while fishing, washed up on the China shore, got a wife and 2 kids to take back with him to Okinawa, along with the study of karate. Shows them the drum and 2 small beads on the side. Through a tour of the small village, Miyagi explains Yukie told him why there's no more fishing in this once fisherman's village. After the war, Sato's dad got a huge commercial fishing boat. Inside of 2 years, almost all the fish and small boats gone, save for a large cannery, leaving most of the people there to leave this place and look for work in the city. So yeah, no more fishermen in this fisherman's village. His dad and the others that stuck around, though, they had to go vegetable farming to save what they could of the village. But now Sato basically owns it and everybody else is just paying rent. Speaking of Sato, he and Chozen arrive, Sato demanding, "We fight right here, right now." Yuki runs in just in time to put an end to that. Miyagi's dad wants both of you right now. Yeah, his last moments are coming up. Bringing the hands of Miyagi and Sato together before he passes. Sato, teary-eyed, but still determined, gives Miyagi 3 days to mourn out of respect. Daniel telling Miyagi, when my dad passed away, I felt like I didn't do enough for him. But he realized he did the greatest thing for him was by staying there in his time. He took his hand. He was with him when he passed on. So, thought this was a really good moment to show Daniel can teach Miyagi a thing or two as well. Kind of becoming more than the student-teacher relationship that they have. Time for the hardest minigame in that NASLJ endgame, the swinging hammer. I didn't know they cork it for safety reasons. I'm like, well, yeah. So Daniel says something really good, but does something crazy stupid. Like, he gets knocked off with the cork hook. He thinks, like, I can try it again without the safety measures. So he almost gets torn in half, literally, by the swinging hammer. Sorry, Miyagi, that was pretty stupid of me. Miyagi agrees. Said the same thing my dad when I did it. Next scene is Daniel helping an old man with a split cart trying to get to Chozen, who's talking down to Miyagi and Student doing grocery business with the villagers. Daniel accidentally bumps into this weight machine. They themselves break. Turns out Chozen's a cheat. Daniel runs off, leaving Chozen to deal with the backlash of the cheated villagers wanting their hard-earned money back, as Yukie is asked by Miyagi how his dad felt about him leaving. She said, "Oh, he loves you and thought what you did was right." Miyagi tells her, "Except for one thing, not taking you with." Yeah, why didn't you do that at the beginning? Daniel and Yukie's niece Kumiko start hitting it off, practicing a dance to help Daniel learn the drum technique. Well, it's almost been 58 minutes of movie. Time for Daniel-san to take a whooping. Chozen's all, "You insulted my honor." I'm like, you're the one who did the weights, bud. Now, like uncle, like nephew wants to end him. A storm brews in more ways than one. Miyagi's gotta fix a refrigerator, so he's off after rekindling love's flame with Yukie, leaving Daniel and Kumiko for some more sightseeing. So, like mirroring the first movie where Daniel spots Johnny Lawrence lead Nakata, this one is Chozen fighting off 4 students at once. Power scaling? Seems tougher than Janu? Likely. Kumiko warns him, don't go in there. Also, don't go in this place where there's bar patrons doing ice breakage. That's the second bonus game from Art of Fighting. Ice Pillar Smash. Although that one's more straight down instead of side to side, so I don't know if there's probably more technique to probably would take more strength and willpower to break it from the side instead of just straight down with the gravity helping you. He sees a guy hurt himself for breaking 2 blocks. Daniel's all like, nah, he's doing it wrong. Karate's all about the whole body, not just your hand. Guy overhears this as this Chozen. So it's like, you think you can do better, huh? Chozen sure got out of that karate gi in what must have been a matter of seconds. Is that a legit superpower Chozen's not telling? Chozen allows Kumiko to run off. Daniel not so lucky. Insulted his honor, now he must break all 6 of these ice blocks. 3-1 odds. Miyagi shows up saying 600, Daniel breaks all 6. Chozen's all, I can't even cover that. Sato says, I can. So he breaks all 6. I forget what he says, but yeah, Chozen being a welch about the whole thing, but an angered Sato tells him to relent. A bet's a bet. Miyagi showing Daniel how to go for the family jewels. I'm like, ooh. That training escalated in a hurry. Oh my god, you've been to Okinawa. First you do the fishing hook, now the downstairs. But the 3 days that Sato mentioned are up. So to force a fight, Chozen and his goons show up and smash Miyagi's village. So Miyagi alright, I'm gonna go talk to him. Begging Sato not to go through this fight while Sato chops at a wood log, a huge pillar. But no break this time. Miyagi asks, what's happened to you, Sato? No answer. This movie's rife with that. Never explaining shit. Daniel and Kumiko doing some jazz dancing. Daniel asks if Kumiko's arranged to be married. Oh no, that's an old custom. How does Chozen always know where Daniel's gonna be at? Must have eyes and ears everywhere in this village. He lays a beating into Daniel for his money back, that his lost bet. Yeah, he's a little salty. But once again, Daniel shows that he's a very fast learner. Quabam! Right to the family jewels. Which, let's be honest, technique. Daniel could have probably found that back in Newark. It does end fights quickly, which is what most martial arts would teach anyway. But hey, it avoids Daniel too much of a beating on that one. At night, Sato yelling for Miyagi to fight him. Daniel wakes to find what the hell's going on. Sato has Chozen and his goons leave a message when Daniel doesn't say where Miyagi actually is. Chozen with an actual spear in his hand starts trashing Miyagi's place and family dojo, and almost Daniel himself intervenes. Miyagi arriving tardy to the party, but kicks ass like you do. Gotta have that in your movie as well. He actually gets a shot in on Mr. Miyagi using the wooden part of the spear. Wow. Cheap shot or no, nobody in the movie remotely touches Miyagi when he fights. Chozen just rules all. Miyagi does quickly gain the upper hand and almost thinks of speared Chozen for... Once again, too many witnesses. Chozen's all, you a coward! But Miyagi's done with all this nonsense. We're heading back to Fresno tomorrow. Wait, or is it Reseda? Mom's at Fresno. They live in Reseda. Sorry. California. Should have said. I still don't know why Miyagi just can't take Yuki back with Reseda. Even now, Yuki's like, what can I do to ease your pain? At least Daniel's got the right idea to ask Kumiko. Before that concludes, bulldozers and an angry Sato ready to wreck the entire village. The next morning, an angry Miyagi says, alright, I got no choice. If you leave the village alone, I'll fight you. Win or lose, Sato agrees. Miyagi gets his last will and testament in order. Yuki gets the house here in Okinawa. Daniel's son gets the house back home and his pickup truck. Daniel gets a bit of an a-hole relapse and says, why don't we just leave? Forget this honor garbage. Miyagi's all, I ain't doing this for honor. I'm doing it for the village. If the village stays the same forever, I've already won. Okay, Sato? Maybe I see him agreeing and honoring that debt. Heir apparent Chozen's another story. Yeah. Sato gets hated at Chozen sometimes, but he's not exactly stopping him at any point. Daniel and Kumiko finally get their kiss, and then the typhoon strikes the village. Everyone inside, hurry. Well, most at least. Daniel, Miyagi, and Yukie and Kumiko help a woman and her child. Sato's house crumbles. Chozen walks out unscathed saying, "Oh, my uncle's dead." He's actually pinned under a board. He's like, "Oh, I see him." Daniel and Miyagi rush to Sato's aid. Sato's like, "You come to fight me when I am helpless, coward!" Miyagi says, "Fuck your shit." Smashes the board. I'm not saying Miyagi didn't use the taunting as fuel, but I'm not saying he didn't. Chopping fuel for the big board, which suspiciously looks like the one Sato was trying to chop, so, okay. Guess in a way we're seeing who would have actually won the fight. So yeah, they take Sato to safety. The girl from atop the ladder ringing the warning bell, not so fortunate. She was trapped and too scared to get down. Just water and lightning everywhere, so Daniel goes to help. Sato demands, "Chozen, you help too." And Chozen backs down. Daniel saves the girl. The storm drops a bit till Sato repairs Miyagi and helps save both of them. Back inside, telling Chozen, "Now to you, I am dead." Chozen runs off into the storm and is honor insulted even further. Seems like a bad idea to run while a storm is brewing. It's quieted down. Doesn't mean it's over. Sato gets his face turned. I'm gonna help rebuild the village, ask for forgiveness. Earlier in the story, Kumiko mentioned this Oban dance used to happen in a castle overlooking a beach. It wasn't done since Sato took over. Daniel asks of Sato, "Hey, can we hold that again here?" Sato proclaims, "The dance now and forever will take place at this castle." I'm sorry, I just had this weird idea. I'm doing the voice, I'm thinking, why did I make him sound like the main guy from the Mad Max movie? Lord Humongous. "Uncle, we go. We restore honor." "I understand your frustration, my nephew, but we will do this my way, my chosen one." That might have been a way better. I might have helped your movie get out of its 44%. It is now a 54%. "Just walk away, Miyagi. Wait, no, don't walk away. I want to fight you in 3 days. You come fight me and I spare your village. You have all the fish in the compound." Oh my god, I gotta get... there's still more movie. Come down. Oh my god, I may have saved this movie. Day of the celebratory dance. By God, that's gotta be Chozen! Not even a typhoon stops this guy. Mia grabs Kumiko by the neck by knife point and demands Daniel fight him now. Restore his honor. Sato's all, "Don't do this. I was wrong. Hate is wrong." Chozen's all, "I cannot hear you. You're dead to me, remember?" And Miyagi with the line most likely meant for the trailer of the movie. "This not tournament. This for real." At least Kumiko tries to get involved in this sudden death battle. Miyagi, what do you know of the Kumite? "I don't know shit about the Kumite. I'll go out there and do this." "He knows nothing of the Kumite. He walked away
As you should do now, Chosen. Just walk away and spare her life. And I give you access to the fish in the compound.
I can't finish that sentence. Chosen going, primeval sumbitch, clocking Kumiko for her interference. And even goes, fuck yo, crown kick. Did he block that ever in the game? Hell, you fought him 3 times. Maybe I gotta play that again. The fight's not super one-sided, but still takes in his usual trouble. Until the whole village rallies behind Daniel, they take out they all have the drums with the 2 beads on the side. So inspiration strikes and Daniel learns the drum punch technique by just looking at that. I'm like, huh? How do you get that from that? What did the 10 fingers say to the face? Wapa! Wapa! The camera's all super close, so I never really understand. Is it open palm? 2 hands clasped around each other like a mace kind of swing? It's like he's swinging. It's like both hands, so he's like side, slide, slam. It's like the Dempsey roll of karate. Boom, boom, boom. Live or die, man. Chosen breathes out. Die. Wrong. I am a man who will fight for your honor. To think the super 80s movie that is Rocky IV said no to that song. 44% rating, though. Yeah, pretty apt. Starts off different enough, but falls into a lot of the same old, and doesn't really explain shit too well. Like, I'll say the power-off right away is Sato's rivalry. I mean, outside of Yukie, it's never fully explained. When the movie doesn't answer Miyagi's question to Sato, I'm just like, you had like a whole opportunity just to finally answer the question, like, what has happened to you? And Sato says nothing. I'm like, alright, who's the best character of this one? I can't even point it to one, like everybody, like outside of Miyagi once again. I can't even say that, because once again, the question gets raised, why doesn't Miyagi just live and take Yukio with him? And the movie just leaves that question unanswered too. My guess is Sato would have threatened the village if he hadn't come. Then that storm hits. Sato's done for. Chozen takes over the village and things get worse. The Frieza to Sato's King Cold, so to speak. I put over Chozen a little bit, and worst case scenario, he is a tough act to follow. Hell, people don't even think of Mike Barnes as the true villain in the next movie. Daniel can get on some of the love here too. Again, just hard to place one character overall, because this movie's kind of... Sato is by far the worst character. That's easy. Because again, his motives are never fully explained. Miyagi doesn't even get the chance to explain. Sato and Yukie never say a syllable to the other the whole movie. We don't really see Sato try and quote-unquote woo Yukie, whatever that might be, to the pompous, massive giant that Sato is. This, built like a brick shit house. We never even see the whole fishing enterprise that he's got. Like, he's got dojos in the fishing thing on lock. Why just the one village? Does he have more than that? Is he involved with the army base station there somehow? Like those kind of deals. Yeah, he just comes off very one note with the whole honor thing. Let's just see Chozen kicking ass and doing some scumbaggerish tactics to warrant his villaindom. Sato's just kind of lost in all this. Especially compared to his bigger bad counterpart in movie 3. I already mentioned power off moment. Yeah, for worst part of the movie is just really just the plot of the movie, which really tanks this movie. But I think best moments is I think Daniel using his belt to knock a power line down while the storm's raging to save the girl. I think that's a subtle callback to what kind of belt do you use? Daniel asked Miyagi in the first movie. JCPenney, $3.89. Yeah, the best and worst of Daniel in this movie. When he does or says something really stupid, Also, when he says or does something amazing and heroic, there never feels like there's a middle ground with him. It's probably what's going to define him as a character more in the third movie, especially more in the series when we get to that. Now comes the tricky part. When I scripted this, I had no idea there'd be like multiple games I would have to go after. And, well, there's 2 Cobra Kai games. Let's just say they're not going to get lumped into just Fridays, because that would take too long. I can, however, lump in the LJN NES game I keep mentioning. Yeah, I'm going to give that a try for my next episode for Cobra Kai Day. But that will do for my review of The Karate Kid 2. So until then, take care, and